So I've recorded 2 videos over the last 2 nights, and both videos have been absolute travesties of videos. I think it was because I was not touching on the subjects that I really wanted to touch on. I was trying to talk about certain aspects of being in physical media. Only one being, I did I think it was 25-minute video about ripping Blu-rays to the hard drive, which defeats the whole purpose of having a physical media collection. The other one was upgrading from DVD to Blu-ray, then to 4K, or from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray to 4K. Is it worth it? Is it worth upgrading a Blu-ray to a 4K when there's nothing really wrong with the Blu-ray release, or upgrading from a DVD to a Blu-ray when it's a film that you're not massively enamored with but you enjoy? But I think the one thing that didn't work in those films, those videos, is that I didn't get my point across. And specifically the second video about upgrading formats, I kind of told you not to spend your money, which defeats the whole purpose of keeping physical media alive. I know you need to go and buy Blu-rays and DVDs and 4Ks. Yeah, that's what we need to do. That's what we're here for. That's why they're getting released. But the thing that I really, really wanted to talk about, which I find that a lot of these YouTubers and these videos on physical media don't tend to talk about the film. They tend to talk more about the packaging. Now, don't get me wrong. Packaging, yes, I completely agree. I completely understand why some people would want to get every single steelbook, every single 4K big box, blah, blah, blah. But no one talks about the film. It's more the packaging than the product. And it makes me feel that these people aren't in it for the film. They're in it for having the product, having the packaging. So, this is Second Sight's release of Dawn of the Dead Blu-ray. This is the standard, believe it or not. This is the standard release of Dawn of the Dead. I also have... Where is it? Come here, Dawn of the Dead. You sneaky bugger. I also have Arrow Video's release of Dawn of the Dead. And if you give me 2 seconds... I also own the Anchor Bay DVD, the Ultimate Edition DVD. Now, why have I got 3 different versions of Dawn of the Dead? I've got the Anchor Bay US Ultimate Edition DVD. I've got the Arrow Video Blu-ray, and I have the Fancy Pants hard boxed standard edition of Second Sight's release. Now, I almost fell over then. The reason I picked up this one, the Arrow release, was to just upgrade the picture quality of the standard definition Anchor Bay Ultimate Edition, basically. They both have pretty much exactly the same special features. I think the Second Sight release has the same special features and maybe a few newer additions. But the reason I upgraded is because Dawn of the Dead is my favourite horror film of all time. So it's the sort of film that I will continue to purchase when better versions come out. I went for the standard edition because the big thick box set was just... It was unattainable at $79.99. This was $24.99, and I've got to tell you, it's absolutely fantastic. $24.99. and they're all Blu-rays. It's got the theatrical cut, the extended can cut, the Argento cut, and special features. The only thing it doesn't have is the mall cut, which you can watch on YouTube, but I'm not really that bothered by the mall cut. So upgrading to something like the fancy hard box of Dawn of the Dead is something I'm going to do because it's one of my favourite films. Second Sight's Flight of the Navigator hard box. Again, this time this one has a book, and it just has standard Amaray case just slid inside. Same with the Arrow releases for Waterworld and Robin Hood. But like the reason I bought this was because the Second Sight regular Amaray edition was out of print. So I was just like, well, this is available. I'll pay the extra. I don't really give a shit about the packaging. I mean, it's pretty cool packaging, but I don't really care if it's in a rock hard box or it comes with a book. I just want the film. So that's why I got that. George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. This is a film I've bought about 6 times. I'm not going to buy him anymore after buying the Criterion release. I got this on special offer. It was $9.99, believe it or not. I have never seen it at that price since. HMV had a special offer on it, so I picked it up at that price. And this is the best that I have ever seen this movie, Night of the Living Dead. 1968 this film came out. And it was never copyrighted, which means the film was in public domain, which meant anybody could, I say license the film, but anybody could just take a negative of the film or buy a negative of the film and release it to DVD or Blu-ray. I still own... Where is it? I can't find it now. But I still own the Optimum release in Blu-ray of Night of the Living Dead. That's more of a backup in case anything happens to the Criterion release. Hopefully nothing happens. But I know that it's there. There's a high definition version of Night of the Living Dead that has never been available in high definition prior to the Optimum release. Well, specifically in the UK. And there's been a lot of crappy, shitty I say bootleg, but it's not technically bootleg because the film is free to the general public. And it's a public domain film. So a lot of people were just taking a transfer or taking a VHS of it, or if they someone had like a 35mm print or a 16mm print, and they were just whacking it on burning it to a disc and selling it at like a low price or something like that. I can't remember. So upgrading to a Criterion restored edition of Night of the Living Dead is exactly what I would do with a film like that, because that is the best version of it. But I don't care for the fact that it's in this cool little cardboard sleeve thing. I'd be quite happy having it in an Amaray case. I don't really care. Obviously, I like special features. As a fan of cinema and a fan of trying to preserve cinema and wanting to be at one point a filmmaker, special features are a blessing for film collectors. The sad thing about Blu-rays and special features these days, unless you are getting the super deluxe amazing release, you're not really getting what you used to on studio releases or older Blu-rays. So having something like the Criterion release, which has a buttload of features, is really good. But again, I don't really care about the packaging. Now, if you look at something from a studio, so let's take The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Is it The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? Let's take The Man from U.N.C.L.E. There's a couple of special features on here. I'm not going to lie, there are some special features. There's making of, part travelogue, all attitude look behind the curtain, spy vision recreating the 1960s core, plus 4 other things. But I guarantee that the special features come in about 60 minutes. There's like an hour of special features. When Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects came out, it came out on a 2-disc DVD in the UK. Disc 1 was the film, Disc 2 was the special features. Disc 2 had a ton of special features, but it also had a 2-hour documentary on the making of the film. Now, you don't see that on Blu-rays anymore, on standard release Blu-rays. And like I said, if you look at Waterworld, this is an absolutely amazing set. There are 3 discs. That is essentially, apart from the top 3 mini paragraphs, that is all special features. And it's got 3 different cuts. It's got the limited edition, it's got the theatrical cut, the TV cut, and the Ulysses cut, which was the fan cut. But do I need the book, a poster, or would I just be okay with the Amaray case? I'd be fine with the Amaray case. In fact, one of my favourite films is RoboCop. I just have the regular Amaray case. So there are there's special editions, limited editions that have come out from Arrow that are of films that I absolutely adore. RoboCop and John Carpenter's The Thing. Both of these movies had like hardbox limited editions, but it's got all the same special features on both single release Amarays. So why did I buy this? I've already got this on Blu-ray, by the way. I've got a region. I've got a region 3 American Blu-ray of Waterworld. It's got the extended edition on it, but it doesn't have the Ulysses cut, and this is a new remaster. Now, not giving a shit about the packaging, it's pretty cool to have it on the shelf. Don't get me wrong. It looks nice. We all know it looks nice on a shelf, but let me just pop these back in. But because I'm more about preserving the film and having the film, the actual narrative, story, watching that, like listening to the screenplay, watching the action, seeing how a film is directed, like the lighting, the production design and stuff like that, how a film is made, or just enjoying the film as you're supposed to enjoy a film. I don't really give a shit about the boxes. About the special edition hard box, amazing bells and whistles, ultra edition. Like, I've pointed this out before. This is one of my favourite films of all time. This is Ronin. This was directed by John Frankenheimer. It was the last movie he made before, well, the last theatrical movie I think he made before he passed away. No, the last but one. He made Reindeer Games in 2000, I think it was, and then he made a documentary. John Frankenheimer basically created the car chase. Like, this film is so good. This film is amazing. But I already own this on Blu-ray. I have 2 Blu-rays of this. Why do I have 2 Blu-rays? And I have 2 DVDs of it. And the reason I have it, much like the same reason for Dawn of the Dead, is that this is the newer version. This is a new restoration. This is a brand new 4K restoration. Like Dawn of the Dead was a brand new 4K restoration. The other DVD, the original catalogue DVD from Paramount, it's just a standard Blu-ray. It's just a standard Blu-ray. It's high definition. It's a high definition scan of the movie, but this looks amazing in full HD with a brand new 4K restoration. That is why I upgraded it. And yes, again, like I said, I love the artwork. I love the slipcase. I'm not a huge collector of slipcases. I've got a few, but I'm not really overly fussed on them. I've got I own 22. I had to count them. Sorry, I own 22 Powerhouse Films Blu-rays. The 22 Indicator Blu-rays. Every single release is the standard edition. The Stone Killer, starring Charles Bronson. This is still sealed because I accidentally ordered 2 copies of it and decided to give my friend a copy, but I gave him the open one. I'd never watched it. Like Night of the Demon. When this came out, this was in this really fancy pants box set. And it's got 2 Blu-rays. But look at this, is all special features. This is all special features. This was in a 5 for £40 offer, I think it was. It's fine. It's absolutely fine to have just the regular edition because it has exactly the same stuff. You're just not getting that hard box and all the other junk that comes with it that's just going to sit on a shelf. Now, I'll tell you one of the biggest regrets that I've ever had as a person who buys movies. Now, as you can see, all these Blu-rays, the biggest regret, I'm trying to find the film now. What did I buy? Where is it? Well, I'm going to have egg on my face. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Right. Another film that is in my top 5 films of all time is From Dusk Till Dawn. I absolutely love this film. I watched it when I was 14. Was it 14? 1996? Yeah, I watched this when I was 14. I took a day off from school. I pretended to be sick. When my parents went to work, I knew that they'd recorded it off television on VHS, and I sat downstairs and I watched the entire movie and I fell in love with it. Now this, again, like I said, is one of my top 5 films of all time. One of the biggest purchasing mistakes I ever made is I ordered this. This is the From Dusk Till Dawn Titty Twister edition. Alright. It's very dusty because it's massive. It comes with, I don't know if you can see all that. It comes with a poster. And it comes with this. Shot glasses, the Blu-ray, some badges, transfer, and some postcards. The Blu-ray's still sealed. So, here's the thing. These are exactly the same Blu-rays. There is absolutely no difference. The artwork's the same, the special features are the same. Sadly, it doesn't have full tilt boogie. And the reason why it's one of the biggest regrets that I've ever had is because since I've bought it, and it's a cool set. It's a cool set. Since I've bought it, as you can see, it's gathered dust because I have nowhere to put this. Doesn't fit on the shelf. This was a waste of money. And the reason I bought this was because, like I said, same with Ronin, same with Dawn of the Dead. It's one of my favourite films of all time. I've never done anything with it. The shot glasses are still in there. I've got it. Why have I got that? And I know a lot of people would be like, well, why don't you just sell the From Dusk Till Dawn Titty Twister edition? Now, this is where the hoarding aspect of physical media collecting comes into it. If you've bought something that you love, but you don't necessarily use, it's very, very, very difficult for you to get rid of that thing. A lot of reasons could be down to price. I think that's the reason why I still have so many DVDs and a lot of Blu-rays that I'm never going to probably watch, is because you spend a lot of money on a Blu-ray. That Blu-ray is still in print, so it's worthless. It's not worth the same amount of money that you paid for it because it's not brand new anymore. So you could take 500 DVDs into CEX. They could be just super generic DVDs, but they're movies that you spent money on. They will give you 1 pence, and then they will sell that for £1.50 or £1. So they're making like 100% plus profit, well 90%, 99% profit on your item, which is what breaks my heart, which is why I can't sell the majority of stuff that I own, because to see me get like fuck all for a film that I spent a lot of money on like 5-10 years ago to get a penny for. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to donate it. Now I remember when I was working in Blockbuster, and we had we did a thing called where you could trade in your movies, and I would, like, when it started, I was getting like 10-15 quid for a VHS. But when they realised that the physical copy of something wasn't worth as much as it originally was, then that's when they started giving you less and less and less and less and less, when I think it got to a point where it was 20 pence a DVD, or like £1 for a Blu-ray, something like that. So the idea of getting rid of this stuff kind of gives me anxiety, if you know what I mean. That's where the hoarding aspect of collecting comes into, which is why you find yourself overrun. But I just wanted to point out a few things that, like, it should be about the film, not about the packaging. If you think the packaging looks pretty cool but you've got no interest in the film, then don't buy it. You're just wasting your money then. That is actually wasting your money. There are things that I've got, like the Clint Eastwood box set, right? It's got 8 movies. It's got a really nice box, a really nice white box. It sits perfectly on the shelf. It lines up with other Blu-ray box sets. I love Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's my favourite actor. I've watched pretty much every single film that he's ever made. That will stay. I would never sell that because that has got some of my favourite films in it. Yes, that is Tigra from Bill and the Cats. Die Hard quadrilogy. More of a box set, I guess. But then here's another thing. I know this video is going long again. Here's another thing. Right, so I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. When it comes to the television shows, I mean, I've watched Next Generation, I've watched Voyager, I've seen episodes of Deep Space Nine, but I wouldn't class myself as a Trekkie. These, on the other hand, the Star Trek box sets, there's 2 of them. There is the original crew, and then there's the Next Gen crew. These movies are awesome, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3. But the front of that's great artwork. That is, well, maybe not with the blue stripe across the top, but that's really good artwork. It's got nice slim boxes. But do you know what really gets on my nerves, and one of the reasons I don't buy box sets that often, is that putting the name of the films down the side. They did it on the other one as well. I'm buying this I know what's in it. I don't need to have the names of the films written on the spine of the box. They should have just put Star Trek Original Motion Picture Collection on the spine, down the spine. That is one of the reasons why I don't buy a lot of box sets. There's a few others that did it, like the Batman box set did it. It's the Batman collection. You don't need to tell me what films are in there. I'm buying the Batman collection. The Universal Monsters collection does it as well. I know what's in it. That's why I'm buying it. I don't need it on the spine. But then you've got something like the Indiana Jones collection, if I can get it out, which did it right. I mean, this is an absolutely fantastic box set. It looks great, and yes, I have still got the J card on there. I'm going to quickly take that off. It's great, look at it. That looks really, really nice. Look at the spine. It just says the Indiana Jones Complete Collection. And it also says it on the other side. And it's got that great artwork and the artwork on the back. Now this, like I said, is a great collection. Why can Paramount put this out looking as sexy as it is, all shiny and that, with just the Indiana Jones collection on the side, no titles of the films, but when it comes to the Star Trek collection, Paramount think it's a good idea to put every single fucking film on the side? That is not good packaging. But I've waffled on about packaging and why I've upgraded certain films for about 27 minutes now. I've got a new sort of angle that I'm trying. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on packaging. I watched a Big Paulie video earlier today, which kind of reinforced my idea of doing this video about packaging. Is it more about the package, or is it more about the content of the film? Because you're not a cinephile or a film fan if you are only buying a film for the shiny packaging. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm probably get a lot of flack for that, but yeah, that's it. This is just me just pointing out that like standard editions of boutique releases are pretty much exactly the same as the limited editions, just in an Amory case without all the guff that comes with it. Like, how many of us are going to sit? When am I going to sit down and read the book that's in Flight of the Navigator, or read the book? Yeah, that was a burned CD. That was, or read the book in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I'm not. Again, really cool packaging. I'm not. And just to reiterate what I said about things on the spine, Arrow, great collection. This is the 6 Gothic Tales from starring Vincent Price from Roger Corman. Right, it looks really cool. Like, look at that, it's really cool. But look at that, they put the names of the films on the fucking side. Stop it. So yeah, I'm going to sign off now because this is half an hour. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out the other videos. And I will see you again soon. So I'm going to throw up the peace sign. Peace! And say goodnight. Good night.